If Google Sheets make you feel like you're about to accidentally do math, you're not alone. Most business owners don't hate Google Sheets. They actually just learned it in a way that felt overwhelming or unnecessary. So, in this video, I'm going to show you how to use Google Sheets without formalist stress. So, it's going to be in a way that actually supports your business instead of slowing you down. So before we even open up a spreadsheet, here's the simplest way to think about it. Google Docs is for explaining things. Google Sheets is for tracking things. That's it, period. If you can remember that, then Sheets already gets a bit easier for you. So now what I want to do is jump into Google Drive. So I'm actually going to share my screen. And what you're going to be seeing is my Google Drive folder. And as we jump into Google Drive, I'm going to just open up a Google Sheet. And what I want you to notice right away is it's not a calculator. It is a clean place to hold information so it doesn't have to live in your head. So when business owners actually tell me that they don't use systems, what this usually means to me or kind of like signals is that I'm holding too many things in my brain. Google Sheets helps with just that without overcomplicating anything. So now what I'm going to do is get into a couple of screen shares. And the first one is going to be an example of a client tracker. And let me open this up here. So once I open up the client tracker, you are going to really see, and I want to step back to say that this is actually something very useful as an example, and it's very common. So, this client tracker across the top, you're going to be seeing things like client name, status, next step, follow up date, and that's it. No formulas. So, it's no special setup. And just to say this out loud, this could be as simple or advanced as you want it to be. So, I love to give that preface because some business owners add multiple follow up columns. Some link out to Google Docs with email templates or outreach language, but starting simple is actually what actually gets used. I love to say that it's very important before you get into any tool and turn on all the bells and whistles, it's actually understanding and building the muscle of the actual task that you're doing before you get into the full automation pieces. So this is also really helpful, this particular client tracker, to keep it simple if you're not ready for a full CRM or customer relationship database yet. But you still actually need to be reliable and track client activity. So this actually helps you out in a simplistic way. Another example that I want to show is a contract content tracker. And with this particular content tracker, I want to preface again in saying that it goes to the point of it could be as simple and it could be as complex as you like it. So for business owners, marketing and content creation is a part of your business. So you have topics here, topics as one of the columns, platform, status, publish date. Now, instead of redeciding what to post every week, you'll be able to see everything at a glance, what's in progress, what's done, and what's coming next. And just like that, the client tracker and just like this content tracker, it can grow with you. You can add drop downs for, possibly the type of platforms that you're using. Maybe the type of content that you're producing. You can link out to a Google Doc, maybe where your strategy or your captions live. Some people even link directly to the image or video file. So the goal stays the same, one place just to see everything of what's happening. So this is what I mean when I say I like tools that work with your brain, not against them. The last screen share that I'll go into are for my business owners who have a harder time. Maybe you get into something like QuickBooks and you're like, what am I looking at? So I love to also share with clients one simple example, which is an expense list. And again, similar to the client tracker and the content tracker, this can be as complex and as simple as you need it. In this particular example, we're using it just to track things such as your date, the vendor, category, the amount, and notes. Even if you have an accountant, this actually helps keep things organized throughout the year instead of scrambling later on trying to figure out what software I have, what groups or communities am I involved with. And I want to say that some people also add maybe totals at the top for income. And then at the bottom, they may have expenses so they can see how much is going out and coming in, or are they at a loss or a profit for the month or the year. But even this basic list is a huge step forward. And if you're realizing there's still not heavy formulas, and just to clarify something quickly, when I talk about systems, I don't mean something overly complicated. To me, it really just means a simple setup that helps you remember less and stay consistent. That's what it is for me. It's not wanting you to overcomplicate things, it's creating ease, but also upgrading our practices into getting consistent. Now, one last thing that I'll share is if you want to, create even like a small upgrade that feels helpful without being overwhelming, I'm going to head on back into the client tracker demo that we had. So if you notice inside of this client tracker, I actually created drop downs. So instead of having to type repeatedly active 10 different times or 10 different ways, you just select it once and it's able to, populate into that field. And I'll show you how. Once I go here, I can highlight, I can go into data, data validation, and it's actually open for me right now. So this was the one that I actually created. So it's applying it to cell number B2 all the way down to B1000. You can always change that. And you could decide to, if you have another stage in your process, you can go ahead and add that here as well. You can change the colors and just kind of personalize it to whatever system or flow that you're doing. So hoping that was helpful. If you're ever at a point where you want help applying this to your own Google Workspace or systems in general within your business, I do offer a 1 hour advisory for business owners who want clarity without committing to a full program. I'll leave that link actually below this video. And if this kind of approach feels supportive to you, go ahead and hit subscribe. This channel is about making Google Workspace really easier for small business owners, not more complicated. So with that said, once you start tracking things in Google Sheets, the next question usually becomes, when am I actually going to do this work? And that's where Google Calendar comes in. So in the next video, I'll walk you through simple Google Calendar tips for small business owners. So follow-ups, the admin works, and the client tasks really stop getting pushed to the side. And as always, I'll cheer you on. Love y'all, and I'll see you there in our next video.